Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, August 17th, 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new to my podcast, please be sure to check out my website at lisahopp.com. It's all about my work, and appointments can be scheduled through Zoom and telephone no matter where you are in this world. Also, I'm on Instagram under Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. I'm on TikTok. I'm also on Facebook under business name Lisa M. Hopp, Spiritual Coach and Medium. And any platform. Thank you for listening today. And if you are on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share if you would. I would appreciate it so much. And for those of you who are new, welcome. And for those of you who listen every week and give me suggestions and feedback, I can't find the words. I think I'm going to look up new words. Really, because gratitude, I don't think fits it. I really don't. It's so gratifying. I see I'm using the word gratitude again. It is so gratifying that listeners, you guys, you listen. You want to listen. You look forward to listening. You listen with your partners, with your children, with your families. It's just, it's over my head. It is over my head. I cannot have an ego about it. And I'm grateful that I can't have an ego about it. So thank you from the very, very bottom of my heart, from my entire heart, from all of me that would have that gratitude. Thank you. So on to the topic today. And there's going to be more of this in the future because we're turning. My work is turning. I am drawn to this in others. But the understanding of how you are here to work with that God energy, and you can call it God, you can call it Source, you can call it Yahweh, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Higher consciousness matrix, whatever you want to call it. We are here to combine with that. It is in us. It is outward. It is science and faith coming together. And so it's so important to have the answers, to give the clarity on what that means. What is Source? What is God? Many of us, and I saw it again this week, many of us think, and I was raised this way too. I was taught this way too, that God is the man with the gray beard at the highest realm. Perhaps you see him sitting on a throne. Perhaps Jesus is at his feet. And that's not without some truth. But God is masculine, feminine. There are angels. There are guides. But what I was also raised to believe is that we have free will. But the free will wasn't really free. Some semi-truth to that too, when you bring in natural law. However, there is not a man highest up that is giving you free will and then watching to see what you do with it so that you can be judged. And that's so important to know. And we know, some of us, that when things go well, we thank God. And when things don't go well, we say, well, I guess God didn't want to give that to me this time. It's not human. It's all energy, as we are made of energy. And it responds to us through natural law, natural flow. So with this topic open again, I want to go to a question that came up to me this week from one of my listeners. Thank you. Excuse me, I had to clear my throat there. And they wanted to know, how does inducing labor, how does scheduling a birth, how does that counteract with natural law? Is it messing with the universe? Because it's not natural. It's not allowing. This isn't about medical. This isn't about an emergency. This is about when you want to schedule on a particular date. You want to, maybe you want to have, some time off, that type of thing. It's about manipulating, okay, the natural flow. And how does that apply here in our lives with natural law? And perhaps, are there any consequences? And so I knew the answer right away. I went out and I investigated it, and I found out that yes, what my answer would have been days ago is correct. And I'm very happy about that. I get happy. And I learn, and I'm always learning too, because we're all students here into teachers. And here's the thing. It's about free will. And we always have the free will to make a choice. But here's what you must understand. That a child does not come into this life until they're supposed to come into this life. So while we use our free will and think that we are manipulating that clock, that child's not popping out until their soul and the overall will is ready. Because we have a free will personally, but there's also an overall will. There's also the will of others. Now, some would believe, some teachings, that we have to perhaps be born on a certain date, a certain time, and all that. But I have not come to that conclusion personally, and that doesn't mean I'm right. The soul does what is best for the soul. That energy of God does what is best for us. It gives the yellow light, the red light, or the green light. So I don't feel currently that I have enough evidence to say that a past karma or something means that you have to arrive at a certain time and date. And if you don't, there are circumstances. No. When the child is ready, the child comes. Now, free will. It is always best to live with the best intentions. So a mother and father who decide to manipulate a birth, or anything, this applies to anything really, whenever you want to go against natural flow, it's about what are your intentions. If you are scheduling this because you have a fear, a mistrust, then that's going to apply to your life. You will attract more to be fearful about. You will attract more mistrust. But if your intention is in some way good, and you are of good heart with it, you're not going to get a whole lot of karmic feedback or cause and effect feedback from making this decision. While the child hasn't gone. See, here's the thing I want to explain again. You may think if you're scheduling it, the child's not going naturally to term, but the child is. Even though we think we're scheduling, the child is. So that kind of takes care of it. However, yes, whatever we do that comes from a state of intention, it's always about intention. Recently, someone said to me, "Oh, you don't have to do that." And I said, "Oh, yes, I do, because I live in good karma." I do. Do I mess up sometimes? Oh, gosh, yes. Well, I'm human. We're all human. And we're dealing with all that humanity of what we're exposed to, what our eyes see, what our senses feel. But I do, if you saw me just walking along at like a parking lot or something, you might see me talking to myself if I'm having a moment of humanity. I talk to myself and go, "Come on, Lisa, come on. Raise those thoughts, raise those feelings. Come from a place of love." I'm always self-talking. And I smile about it because to the onlooker, I might look a little bit, touched. I want to be very careful about a word I would choose. But I do that because I understand. I understand now, I've grown to understand I don't have to be perfect. We don't have to be perfect. We're supposed to feel. When we're having sadness, we're supposed to feel when someone makes us feel hurt or angry. We got to feel it. We're not supposed to lash out because it comes back to us more. But we've got to feel it. We've got to heal. Forgiveness is a big one. I think it's fear and forgiveness are the two largest things we're here to grapple and heal. And we can be just going along our normal lives and all of a sudden a memory pops up or a situation, and then we got to go at it again when we thought we had done it. And sometimes it's rational and sometimes it's irrational. But it doesn't matter. It has to be felt and it has to be healed and it has to be released. And it's an ongoing process. Some people believe, and maybe you're one of them, that you always have to be thinking and feeling positive all the time. Thoughts become things, keep them positive. Truth, it is good. It is very powerful to have positive thoughts and positive feelings. Yes, you want to be of a higher vibration because you get who you are. And if who you are is feeling abundance in every way, that's what you're going to get in your life. But does having a bad morning throw you off? No, unless you decide to live in that morning for a long time. So that's very important to keep in mind, that I've learned that because I used to really get on myself about, and what you focus on expands, right? So the more you're noticing that you're cranky, the more cranky you get, right? And I've had this happen the last couple of days to me. I feel like I'm girl chatting with you guys right now. But as soon as I feel like I've got it rolling, like I've mastered this whole game of life, I'll start to feel like really short of temper, really cranky. But the aha to me is that in that moment when I was in the flow, it brought up more to be healed, so I could continue to do the work to stay in the flow. But it can be frustrating when you know truths about being in the end, being in the assuming it's done, being who you want to be because you get who you are, and then you're not being who you really truly are. And you're not. And it's almost like this little demon part of you is coming out, which is ego, is coming out to be an obstacle to what you're trying to pull off. And yes, that does happen. But you have to work through it. You have to do the healing. You have to find in the present moment something to feel happiness and joy about. So very important. And worry is a complete waste of time. And so when you notice something that you don't like and you start to worry about what you don't like, you're again increasing it, but also the worry is not going to matter. Worry never brings one result that you want. It only harms you. So when we are making decisions in our life, no matter what they are, if we're doing it from a shallow place where, hey, it's good for me and the consequences don't matter, it's just, we're supposed to be self-caring, we're supposed to be self-loving, actually first and foremost. But when it comes to making huge decisions, milestones in our lives, what's your intention? We should never come from a place of intention, as I said, where it's maybe more shallow. I get an extra week off. There's nothing wrong with that, but what's your intention in using that week? Is your intention of revenge, of any negative energy at all in something? Is your intention just not to care about others? When that happens, when your intention is not honoring life, and there's a whole big discussion that can happen around that, right? Sometimes people have different thoughts and opinions and feelings about what honoring life means. But what your intention is what brings your outcome, what brings your feedback, what brings your cause and effect. So, and also a reminder, intention should never be based in anything of energy that's based in fear, anxiety, mistrust. Always keep that faith. Always trust that a higher good, a higher realm loves you. So, scheduling a delivery, inducing labor because you want to, not because medically you have to, does not interfere with natural law. It's just free will. And everything unfolds the way it's supposed to overall. You always have a committee looking out for you, your angels, your guides, a master, God source. They're always looking at your decisions. They're always listening. Your child's soul has a say. Your soul has a say. The overall good has a say. But you're always allowed to request. You're always allowed to use your free will. That's why you were given it. It's free. It's a gift. And so keep that in mind. I also want to say this too. We have to be cognizant of our beliefs and our perceptions. We are handed down beliefs that turn into judgments because it's our beliefs and we believe our beliefs are true. They are truth. And so it's very important, and believe me, it is easy, but it's very important to make sure that when you are witnessing life, that you're not doing it from a place of judgment. And as I said, it's easy. It's easy to judge someone who is unkind, who is harmful. Very easy and understandable, and energy understands it. And I'm not saying you should let people off the hook. Of course I'm not. What I would like to say, what I'd like to suggest is when you see something that goes against your personal integrity, against your personal choice of free will, that step back for a moment and try to see and understand that that person, those people, come from a different story, different path. But everybody who crosses our path is meant to be a teacher. So it's an illumination helping us to learn. And I have to watch personally myself. So I would say this to you to watch this. I often will say when someone is not acting with their best selves, I know it's because they weren't taught that. And so my thought goes to, if only their mother or father had loved them more. But that's ego. We have to watch the ego, the way it's thought of. Not necessarily the truth of it, but the way it's thought of. And that there is a truth because we are in some way the product of where we come from. And it goes ancestral. Beliefs, traditions, perceptions, they're dropped down from generation to generation to generation. When you believe money doesn't grow on trees, that's a perception dropped down. You have to work hard for the money. Our family or our ancestry doesn't get that. We don't get those rewards like other people. Whatever it may be, it's a belief system tied to an emotion that's dropped down. And then we hear it over and over and over again, or we hear it in a moment where we're very susceptible and we believe it. It doesn't mean it's true. If you don't want it to be true, then it probably isn't true. You create your life. You come with a blueprint to work on, little ins and outs to kind of give you your lessons, little twists and turns. But for the most part, you're the optimum creator. Do you want to create a path for yourself where you believe that you have to have 3 jobs to have enough money? Because it's not the case unless you believe it. It's true. And so watch what is at the very core of yourself that you believe. And see if there's any truth behind it. There will be truth behind it because what we believe we get, what we feel we get. But is it based in any science? Is it based in any fact? Only the fact that it was created through belief. And so, understand, if you will, that people work from that. They work from what they were given. They make choices from what they were given. Maybe they're rebelling in their own way. Maybe they have a past life or another life where they passed in childbirth because they waited too long. And now they want to make sure that doesn't happen again. There's layers There's layers. We don't know the whole story. And we want to watch our ego about thinking we always know everything because, the unfolding. As I said, I'm a teacher, but I'm foremost a student. And I get ahas and wows and alls all the time. The greatest among us, the greatest teachers read every day. I'm reading every day. They make a point to read every day. It's, part of their schedule. And it's a schedule they don't give up. I love that. Because don't you think that's a luxury to read? No, it's not a luxury to read. It's a necessity. This world needs knowledge, wisdom, and get it from truthful sources, not sources that are trying to manipulate because of gain. It's so important. And you'll know it's truthful because you'll feel it in your body. You'll go, yeah, that's truth. That resonates with me. I remember, and I've said this before if you're a weekly listener, decades ago now, I didn't know about channelers. How do we all know they're not making it up? Right? But then I listened to Abraham being channeled by Esther Hicks, who I had the great privilege of meeting very briefly once. And what a beautiful soul. And what was channeled through her voice, I knew with every bit of me was true. That's how you know. You don't believe it with the head, you believe it with the core of you. And then you can trust it. And more channelings are happening now from masters from other galaxies. We're being incredibly helped right now. And this is out there for us. This information, these teachings, they're out there to help us become masters of our own life. But again, to bring it back to humanity, there is not a man with a long gray beard or anyone around him that is not viewing you with anything other than unconditional love, acceptance, adoration. Don't let anyone stoke your fear and tell you differently, because there are people employed to do that. Right? I laugh at how I put things, not at it. All right? You are given the choice. And then you see how it ripples your path. But again, with good intentions, always, you will stay above negative fray. And I don't know why. Maybe someone's listening that's had this thought. Let's just very briefly tackle curses. Because I've heard that said to me, I think I'm cursed. You get what you expect. One time, you went to somebody who was not authentic, not of good intentions, a scammer, and they told you you were cursed. And you believed it because you chose to believe it, and now you see curses everywhere. If you don't want to see curses everywhere, reframe. Because heaven doesn't curse us. We curse ourselves. Okay? Again, don't live in fear. Good intentions, love, gratitude, compassion, and you will have all you need, all the instruments, the keys for your life. I hope that made sense. You know, I don't go off a script. So I hope it did. As always, if you have any ideas for a topic, or if you need clarity about what I just said, please feel free to message at serenityharbor@verizon.net or comment if you're listening to this on a platform with commenting below. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish you a wonderful Sunday, a wonderful week. Again, go to all the areas, Facebook, my website, lisahop.com. Like, subscribe, and share here on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All the best. I'll talk to you next time.